I just bought this vintage lens for my camera. It's a Helios 44-2, made in the USSR. So I think I own it, but I might have to share it with everybody. I'm not exactly sure. But it's an old lens, and this mount here is what's called an M42 mount. I think the old Leica cameras use something similar. So I bought myself this little adapter. Got it off of Fleabay. It means I can go from M42 to my Fuji, which is the FX system. So it's pretty straightforward. This just screws in here like this. How good's that? That's the lens on the adapter. Push the little button, take off the Fuji lens. And the good thing with this adapter, it still has that red dot, so it's nice and easy just to line it up. And there we go, vintage lens on the Fuji. Let's go take some photos.
So before heading out, I fired up my Fuji X Weekly app. I love these guys. They make such really cool recipes. And this time I was using the cinematic negative recipe. And I don't know, I just love the look that I get straight out of camera. So I went straight up to the park. I wasn't really looking for photos, more playing with the lens, seeing what the background looks like, seeing what the bokeh looks like. And I managed to get it to do the swirl. It's famous for the swirl, but this photo here, it's not a good photo, but you can see that swirl in the background. If I can try to get this lens to do that on a subject that's interesting, that'd be super cool.
So I'm under this bridge in like some dried up creek. Never done autofocus before, so I'm having a bit of fun with that. But I've grabbed this old cigarette packet here, put a rock in it so it sits still, and I just playing around with the backgrounds and sort of seeing what the lens can do, having a bit of fun. So let's get some more photos. So flowers and stuff is nice, sure, but what's it like when I'm shooting cars? Because that's mainly what I'm into. So let's go duck into my mate's place. He's got this insane car that's open wheeler, V6, twin turbo. If a mad scientist got locked in a shed and built a car, that's exactly what this is. So let's go take some photos of that.
So this car's inspired by like a 1960s Formula One style car, and just having it in an old shed, with all the old tools, getting photos taken with an old lens, it all just sort of worked so well together, and there's just something special about these photos. And I found too, like the really cold steel colors, but with the warm reds, there's just something about these photos, and there's something that this lens picked up that I didn't get with my more modern lenses. And managed to get a few snaps from my mate and his friend putting the car back together, and it was just good. I just really enjoyed taking these photos.
I think one of the main things I love about, you know, cameras and buying an old lens is it makes you get out of the house, makes you come out to places that you probably wouldn't normally go to looking for a photo. I think that's half the fun, part of the adventure. Why am I here? It's to take photos. Trying to see the world differently through an old vintage lens, but at the same time you physically get to come out here and enjoy it at the same time. So it's half the fun of the hobby, I guess.
So with a little bit more practice with the lens, I decided to head out and spend half a day taking some photos. I found out that Barry loves frog cake apparently. I shot this photo through a fence. I thought that was interesting. Don't know why. And then, you know, you always tell a story with a photo. This guy's stopped to contemplate life while he continues on the staircase up through life, or maybe he was just trying to get home, whatever. Then I saw these people out in the sand. I thought that was great, but then I ducked down and shot it through the handrail, and that's probably one of the best photos I've ever taken, I think. I really like that one. This guy was a little cheeky and joked about getting some photos of the missus, and I thought, why not? Don't normally shoot people, but I thought they turned out quite nice. Then while I was at the beach, the Subaru crew were out on a cruise, say that fast 3 times, and I thought I'd take some photos of cars, and I found what was interesting was I kind of lost that vintage feel shooting a modern car in a modern car park. It was more, I found like the nature sort of photos brought out the vintage feel a little bit more. Next stop was back in the shed. Now I'm making this 6-to-1 exhaust for my V6 in my drift car, and it's silly. So I thought I'd try to take some photos of it, had the camera with me, and I managed to sort of stage a few shots of this one, moving the motor around, changing the light around. Probably not really playing to the strengths of the Helios on this one, but I still really like the feel and the look. So I'm really enjoying this old lens. It's definitely going to become a regular, and maybe one day I'll get that perfect swirly background.